Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm back out the range with a 9mm carbine you've seen before. This is my APC9. It's a B&T made gun. This is an SBR, has a side folding stock on it. I also have my Griffin 9mm. It's a Revolution 9 can on there. It's attached via the tri-lug. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, you'll know I've gotten this 9mm carbine bug really bad. Now, I've been thoroughly impressed with the B&T APC9. This gun is built like a Swiss watch. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it also kind of started me on the path of some other B&T products. I mean, this one's cool, but they make some other stuff that's pretty cool too. And that's what I want to show you here in just a second. But let's empty out this magazine and take a look at what else I'm working on in terms of a Form 1 project, which means SBR. That is pretty sweet. Uses this polymer magazine. I think it's the same polymer magazine this little guy uses. What could this be? This is the not new TMP, which was originally made by Steyr, which is now made by B&T, and it's called the TP9. So back when I was much younger, in the 90s, I had an original Steyr import, which is called the TMP. And it was a neat little pistol, but there wasn't much you could do with it. It had a really long muzzle shroud on it to keep you from shooting your thumb off. It didn't have any of the mounting hardware back here for a stock. It was just a big plastic, I don't know, something like a Tech 9, but much better made. There wasn't much you could do with it. Well, B&T acquired the licensing and the rights to manufacture the gun. They've made a number of different tweaks to it, like the 1913 rail here on the top, 1913 rail here on the side, which you can use to hold a brass catcher. I'll probably pick one of those up from hkparts.net. But it also has all the mounting hardware you need to install a stock, which I have a Form 1 pending on this bad boy, and soon it will join my APC9 in my SBR collection. We'll take a closer look at this little guy. We'll break it down, show you some of its unique characteristics in terms of how it works. But first, let's just fire off a few rounds out of this thing. This is the first range session with the TP9. Definitely have some adjustments to make to the Aimpoint T2 Micro, but I have the Aimpoint T2 Micro attached via one of the new Midwest Industries quick detach mounts, so it quickly can go on and off the gun. It does have iron sights, but I prefer to use a red dot sight, so I'm going to go ahead and throw my little Midwest Industries mount back on here with my T2 Micro and lock it back into place. I'm going to go ahead and zero the gun, do a little bit more shooting, and again, to show you what a cool little option this is. I like because on hkparts.net they have the B&T holster, which goes with the gun. Now imagine this with a side folding stock. Yeah, I'm geeking out pretty hard. You just push a button, draw your pistol, put it away, locks into place. They also have a drop leg version. All right, let's take a closer look at the pistol. Let's go over some of the features of the TP9. First of all, let's talk about how the weapon charges. Back here we have a charging handle. It looks a lot like an AR-15. So to charge it, you're going to go ahead, grab the pistol. I'm right-handed, obviously. Pull it to the rear, and it'll charge. It is a polymer handle. You can see I can twist it. All right, if you want to lock the bolt open when it does not have a magazine in it, it will lock open on an empty magazine. What you'll do is grab it again. Over here we have a slide stop or a bolt stop, very similar to a handgun. I'm going to push up on that with my thumb and draw the bolt to the rear, and that will lock the bolt rearward. So now I can stick a full magazine in there, come over here with my thumb, hit this, and it'll drop the bolt chamber around. Okay, like I said, the gun does lock open the last shot fired. It's also nice that it has a magazine release in a spot you would expect it. It's over here on the right-hand side of the pistol, so if I'm left-handed, I can drop the magazine out by pushing on the button, but it also has a magazine release over here on the right-hand side. So let me show you, demonstrate. Take one of the magazines out of my pocket here, stick it in the pistol, lock it. I can drop the magazine out by pushing the button over here, or I can drop it by pushing the button over here. Stick that magazine back there. All right, so this is a takedown lever up here, in case you're wondering what that is. Of course, this 1913 rail is an accessory mount. You can put a light up there if you want. I know that they sell a brass catcher that clips on here. Will capture all the brass that the gun ejects out. Right here is your safety. It's just a cross block safety. So that would be in the safe position. It has a little white dot in the back. And when you go to take it off safe to fire, if you're right-handed, you'll just reach up and bump that with your knuckle. You'll see it protrude from the other side with a little red dot. That means the weapon is ready to fire. All right, so that's pretty much a rundown. It does have iron sights. You can see the rear peep here and the front post right up here. But it's a red dot world we live in, so I much prefer my T2 Micro with my Midwest Industries mount. Now out here on the end, I'll quickly talk about this. You'll see a tri-lug system, and that is for the attachment of a suppressor. It's a proprietary suppressor. I am trying to locate one. I would like to purchase one for this, so when I do complete the SBR build, I'll be able to have the suppressor with it as well. Downside is the holster, which we have right here. With the suppressor, obviously, it's not going to work. How the holster works is we have a little button right there. Just push the button, that will release the gun. You can pull it out. Right here, you have this little cone. That's for the muzzle to align with, and it's slotted and locks onto the trigger guard. So when I push it down, you can hear it click into place, and again, it's firmly in place until you push the button and pull the pistol out and start using it. Now, it will work with the stock, okay? So when I lock it in, the stock's gonna fold to the side right here, so I'll be able to carry a short-barreled rifle as a hip holster. I'm pretty excited about the holster. I don't know why I'm kind of geeking out. I believe they're $169 on hkparts.net. That's where I found this one. And again, they do have the leg holster option as well. All right, so what I'm going to do is, well, I have two different magazines. So there are at least three different magazines available for the gun. It will ship with one 30-round magazine, which I have here, which is the same thing the APC9 uses. But you can also purchase online, which I got this from, again, hkparts.net. No, they don't pay me to say that. This is a 20-rounder, then they have a flush fit 15-rounder. I wanted to try the 20-rounder first. Matter of fact, let's shoot that first. Because I wanted to see how far it stuck out of the pistol grip, and you can see about how far it sticks out. I wanted to reduce that overall footprint in case I did want to carry it like this. With a 30-rounder, that sucker's sticking out quite a ways. 20-rounder makes it a little bit more palatable, but I may pick up a 15-rounder as well. Now, the magazines are not inexpensive. They're like 69 bucks each. So the magazines are pricey. Go ahead, chamber it around. Take it off safe. I think I pretty much got this thing zeroed. And let's just bang away on some steel plates here with it. All right, locks open, last shot fired. Magazine doesn't drop free. I'm pushing the button, drop the magazine away. Now I'm gonna grab my 30-rounder. Chamber the round, first round, and it's ready to go again. I'm gonna hit that little pepper popper with it. It won't take long to knock it over. Yep, one shot. Those 30-round magazines last a while. Again, locks open, last shot fired. You will notice the trigger has a little dingus on it, kind of like a Glock. Pull the trigger on the side, it won't move. But if you watch the trigger pull, when the trigger pulls, it pulls straight rearward. It doesn't have a hinge point. It's more like a 1911 in its feel. The trigger pull, though, isn't light by any means, but it's actually a fairly decent little trigger. It's not horrible. And it's going to be really nice when it's converted into a carbine. Now, keep in mind when you're shooting the thing, if you want to shoot it with a second hand, the original Steyr imports, which would be called either the TMP or SPP, Special Purpose Pistol, I believe that's what they call the semi-automatic versions, they had a long cone out here to keep you from doing what I would easily do if I were to shoot it like this, get my finger in front of the muzzle or my thumb. Now, this gun also ships with a 1913 pick rail, which I've taken off the gun. You can see the 2 screw holes here. It gives you a pick rail on the bottom so you can put a vertical fore-end grip on it, but keep in mind you cannot do that as a pistol. You have to register it as any other weapon or as a short-barreled rifle before you can put that vertical grip on it. Overall, the build quality of this thing is superb. I remember the Steyr pistol very well. I did break my charging handle on my original Steyr, had to buy another one back in the 80s. And I do know that the charging handles and a complete parts kit is available for these things right now, so you can buy some spare parts, which I'll probably do just in case these ever go off the market. But yeah, I'm really, really happy to have this thing, and I'm really looking forward to that Form 1 coming back so I can have a short-barreled rifle on my hip. Yeah, I know. I'm a gun geek. Sue me. Let's take the pistol apart and see what it looks like on the inside. First, I'm going to go ahead and drop the magazine out by pushing the button. It has a Glock takedown style pull release, which is on both sides, a little tab. So you'll want to pull down on this and watch what happens to the bolt here. When I pull down on it, you'll notice the bolt kind of pops forward. So it's taking some of the spring pressure off this little button that we're going to have to push here in the rear. So I push this in the rear and lift up. See how it just kind of slightly comes apart? Now while you're doing that, you're going to come up here to this little tab in the front, just above the barrel, and push it in, and the whole unit will release, and it'll come apart into 2 pieces. Over here we have the magazine well, trigger assembly. You can see the little hammer there. Okay. On this side, we have the operating mechanism. I'm just going to grab it by the muzzle end. I'm going to pull it back a little bit and lift up. And the locking block and the bolt and recoil spring are going to come out of the top half of the clamshell. Now this is what's kind of cool. Notice as the bolt moves how the barrel turns. See what's happening? Watch right here. So as the bolt moves, the barrel turns and unlocks. So it is a locked breech design, which helps to reduce the weight, which is one of the reasons why the gun is so much smaller and handier than the APC9, which is just a straight blowback gun. Take your bolt and carrier apart. There's your barrel. And that's basically all you have to do to field strip it. Put it back together. You just reverse the process. Stick your barrel and bolt back together. Put your recoil spring back in. Can't forget that. You'll see how the recoiled spring, it slides up over its guide there, and we're just going to push everything back in and wiggle it around until it pops into place. Okay, you'll see the tab sticking out. Everything's in place. On the lower receiver, you have this bar here. This goes around there. Okay, so I'm just going to set that in. I'm going to push down. I'm going to pull down this little tab, and it'll drop into place. Pushing this little button, just kind of wiggle it until it all goes together, and it'll pop back together. You'll notice the bolt's still forward. The first time you cycle it, it'll click back into place, and the gun's ready to be shot again. Let me show you how the magazine loader that comes with the gun works. All right, so you want to take your loader and stick it on the magazine, like so. Now you got some Federal range ammunition. You'll want to use a 50-round box of ammo that's set up just like this, all right? So what you'll do is there's this little track here. You're gonna run that track over the rims of 5 rounds in the box. See how it holds them? I'm gonna walk over to the edge of a table. There's a little thumb rest right here. I'm just gonna push sharply, and it pushes the rounds into the magazine. Another 5 rounds. All right, come to the edge, push. All right, another 5 rounds. Come to the edge, and push. Repeat until the magazine's full. I kind of always have to push that last round down, but still makes it a lot easier to load, and it's quite a bit less of a knuckle buster. All right. Now we got 20 rounds loaded. Let's go shoot them. Can't load magazines and not shoot them. Yep, I'm sure of it. I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed coming out to the range with me this afternoon, shooting my B&T TP9 for the very first time. So far, I couldn't be happier with the gun. Now, I do have a Form 1 pending on the gun. Come July 13th of this year, the trust laws are going to change. Right now, as a trust, you do not have to submit to a background check. You don't have to get Clio sign-off. You don't have to get fingerprinted. You don't have to get passport photos. None of that. July 13th, that all changes. Right now, the wait times, at least on my last 2 Form 1 submissions, was right around 3.5 months. And at the store at Copper Custom, we're seeing customers get their cans approved with a trust right around 4 to 5 months. So that, again, that will all change in July when everybody on the trust has to submit to a background check, at least all responsible parties. So right now, I highly recommend getting a trust and getting those things that you're setting around waiting to either file as a Form 1 or that suppressor you're looking to buy. Now's the time to do it. Go by Silencer Co.'s website. They have a thing called an Easy Trust. It's $129. Matter of fact, I'm going to put a discount code down below. They'll take $10 off of that. So swing by, pick it up. You can do it online. Get your trust paperwork going. Get your trusts in now so you can avoid those Obama changes that are coming July 13th. And I imagine there's going to be a panic of people rushing to try to beat that deadline. So the sooner you get it in, the better. Thanks again for coming out, guys. If you want to support the Military Arms channel, please swing by Copper Custom. It's our online store. Shopping there tremendously helps out us here at the channel. And if you haven't already, please check out full30.com. That's full30.com. All the web's best firearms content creators under one roof, which is full30.com. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon. I don't know. What do you think, Jason? Should I throw it in the mud? He's saying yes. We'll see.